Probably the thing that most people are probably a little afraid to try, which is the prawn. Oh yeah, that's spicy. Singapore, a cosmopolitan hub for Asia and Southeast Asia. Now, most people come here for a layover or a stopover in the Changi Airport, which is pretty impressive, but more on that down the road. But you may be wondering, if you have a long layover like us for 16 hours, what is there to do? Well, we're here to find out. If you're new to the channel, give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for future adventures. Now let's go explore Singapore. When you come to Singapore, one of the major attractions is the Marina Bay Sands. And there's so much to do here. There's shops, there's a casino, and of course, the iconic hotel that has an infinity pool. And you may recognize it as it has like a surfboard architecture on the top of the building. But we came down here for one particular attraction, which is the Spectra light show. It's a water fountain with lights and mist, choreographed with music, so we're really excited to see that. And then, of course, if you're familiar with the area, it's also right by Gardens by the Bay. So there's a lot to do, but first, let's see the show. Now you may be wondering, John, where did you go to see the light show? Well, we went to the Marina Bay Sands, through the shopping area, event center, and casino to the bay side. They have a lower deck, and they're building an upper deck. Now let me tell you about the lower deck. When the show starts, if it's a little windy, be prepared to get wet. People scatter, but I'll tell you what, we had a 19-hour flight. We've only been here 2 hours. That woke me up. The show itself, from what I read, takes you through the birth of Singapore. So it starts off a little slow, but let me tell you, it picks up real fast and has a big ending to it. One of the unique features at Marina Bay Sands is the rain Oculus. It can be found in the shops, and at the main plaza level you can see the whirlpool, and then go downstairs, see the main level where the water falls. And if you're adventurous or like a nice little light cruise on the river, they have boats that will take you around it and through the little river that goes through the shops. Right by the Marina Sands is Gardens by the Bay, Singapore's probably most iconic attraction. Most people are familiar with the Super Tree Grove, which is behind me, as well as the Cloud Forest Walk. They have a lot of different indoor and outdoor gardens. The outdoor spaces are free admittance. Some of the indoor spaces and more popular attractions with the gardens do cost a fee. Now, since we have one night in Singapore, we're staying with the outdoor space since a lot of it is open 24 hours or to 2 a.m. So we're excited to see what the gardens have to offer. Obviously, everyone comes to see the Super Tree Grove, especially with the walkway that you see right across. So you get great views of the trees. And at nighttime, they have a light show. But if you're limited on time, there are great views of the light show and the Super Grove trees, mostly wherever you go in the park. So maybe it's not worth going inside and just staying outside to catch the light show. if you're looking to get out of the heat and go to one of the indoor gardens, you have the Cloud Forest and the Flower Dome, which are right next to each other. The Cloud Forest has one of the largest, or tallest, I should say, indoor waterfalls. It has a spiraling staircase, and you can see a lot of the different plants in there. And the Flower Dome is, as you would expect, a dome full of flowers. Just look at these gardens. I mean, they're absolutely stunning. I mean, we saw so many people leave the gardens right after the light show, but there is a lot to explore, especially at night. They're all lit up and everything. So, I mean, this is definitely worth exploring. And even if you've explored the places that cost a fee, the outdoor space is really amazing and worth checking out. The meadow is one of the furthest points in the gardens, but it has great views of the city skyline, especially Marina Bay Sands. And off in the distance, you can see the super tree groves. Right now, we think they're celebrating or setting up the decorations for the Chinese New Year, but trust us, it is behind the stage in some of those decorations, but it's worth the photo op. We're at our last stop. Singapore is known for being a culinary destination, but what people may not know is the best way to enjoy delicious food in Singapore is to go to a hawker center. They're scattered throughout the city, but we went to this one in particular. I have a couple more details, but let's head inside. We went to the La Paz Hawker Center, which is famous for its Victorian architecture. Obviously, they have a lot of different food stalls, but you can find something for every taste and every culture. I've seen Japanese, Korean, so there's something for everyone. This hawker center has 80 different stalls, and what makes it really unique is that 6 of the stalls are mentioned in the Michelin Guide. Not stars, but just to be mentioned in the guide itself is a huge honor. I'll tell you what, the food smells great. I can't wait to taste something. As if you need another reason to come to this hawker center, they are famous for their satay street. What is satay? Well, it's grilled meat on a stick. Beef, chicken, prawn. They season it, put it on the fire, and it smells absolutely delicious. But what makes this hawker center so unique is that they close this street starting at 7 p.m. and they open up for the satay grilling right here. I'll tell you what, I'm hungry. Word on the street is satay 7 and 8 are the best.
You only heard.
I only heard.
Today you know whether it's great. You eat,
yes.
And you tell me, okay?
Exactly. We'll put it to the test.
Yes. And then if not nice, you will tell me.
Yes.
Okay? If nice, you must tell your friend.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good. While we wait for our satay, we wanted to get some refreshing drinks, especially since it's hot. We definitely use something that's a little chilled. I got an iced mango peach, which looks really delicious. Andrea got a traditional Southeast Singaporean drink called a iced bandung, and you may be wondering, what is that? It's condensed milk with rose syrup, has a beautiful color to it, and we're excited to try it out. Cheers. Feels refreshing. Now I'm very curious how this tasted. It's very, very sweet. Obviously a hint of rose, but I would say this is a very sugary drink. I don't know, Andrea, do you give a thumbs up? No, a little bit too sugary maybe, or maybe. Well, if you love a sugary rose drink, this is the one for you. All right, the main course has arrived. Our satay, we got a complete set, 10 chicken, 10 beef, and 6 prawn. It's run by 2 brothers who have put a lot of pressure on us to have a good food review. So here's hoping that they lived up to the hype that they gave us. Here goes the beef. That is really good. It's perfectly grilled. There's a lot of good seasons to it. I think that's really good. I think it lives up to the hype with the beef. Shall we try the chicken? Here's the lovely chicken. That's really good too. Perfectly grilled, perfectly cooked, seasoning amazing. Now, this is probably the thing that most people are probably a little afraid to try, which is the prawn. What you do is take the head off, just slides right off of that, and dig in. I think it's delicious. It's like a giant shrimp. Nicely seasoned, nicely grilled. The food is amazing. Now we have some sauces that kind of look like a peanut sauce, so we're gonna try it out. Definitely a peanut sauce. Has a little spice to it, which adds a kick. I tell you what, the Satay 8 owner and workers, really friendly. The owner gave us a complimentary food of beef and prawns. She really wanted us to try out this special sauce, which has chilies in it, and it's locally spicy, which she emphasized. So John's going to be adventurous and see if it is his level of spicy or not. Oh yeah, that's spicy. Yeah, this would not. I'll stick to the peanut sauce. Andrea has a different palate. Apparently that local spicy sauce was perfectly fine. But if you're a mild person like me, it's probably a tad too spicy. So round 2 of satay, just as delicious. The owner talked through the process, which they steam all their meat, and they braise it, glaze it, and they fire it up. And you can just taste each layer, which makes it really unique. I don't know what the other stalls are doing as far as their cooking methods, but if you come to Satay 8, you definitely won't be disappointed. I will say the satay definitely lived up to the hype, especially stall number 8. Kudos to them. Lived up to the word on the street, as well as what I read about. So, JLU travel tip, go to Satay number 8. Welcome to Changi Airport. It's one of the world's most luxurious airports. It may be most famous for the Jewel and Rain Vortex, but it has so much more. It has a butterfly garden, pools, hotel, so much more. People fly through this airport just to experience it. We have a limited time in this airport before we have to catch our next flight. There's a lot to see, so let's start our adventure. The topiary walk is a lot of fun, and it's one of the main features of the Canopy Walk in the airport. I have to say that is the perfect outfit given the Chinese Lunar New Year. I love the purple elephant. I love how they incorporate a fountain in one of their sculptures. Canopy Walk is on the 5th floor of the Jewel, and the park itself surrounds the rain vortex. So it's really cool that as you walk through the forest, you can see great views of the rain vortex. Oh, there we go. We got Foggy Bowl action. This is where the action is at, the Foggy Bowls. Every once in a while, the ground fills with fog, and obviously, it's a kid's playground. Right above me is the bouncing net. We've seen a lot of videos and it looks like a lot of fun, but it seems like it's quite a workout and we want to enjoy our vacation and take a break from exercise. If you have a MasterCard, you can actually walk this bridge that gets you closer to the rain vortex. But if you don't have a MasterCard, have no worries. There's still great views 360 of the rain vortex. The Jewel Camperfest has one of the best jungles, botanical gardens, and forests without having really bright flowers. And when you go through the pedal walk, you can just smell all the really beautiful flowers. If you have allergies, you might want to pass. Someone's gonna have to educate me about Pop Mart. In the pedal garden right behind me, there are characters dressed out in their Lunar New Year's best. If you know what Pop Mart is, you gotta help me. Put your comments below. What is it? Who's your favorite character? After looking at all the characters, my personal favorite is the character from the Monsters. It reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are, since it was one of my favorite childhood books. The admission price for the Canopy Walk is 8 Singaporean dollars per adult. It doesn't include the bouncing net or some of the additional features in the area, but we think it's well worth the price. If you have a long layover, especially if you have kids, this is a great place to burn off some energy and kill some time. We came back to the Foggy Bowls, hoping there would be a lot more fog. We're not sure if they're on a timer or if they're off. We don't know, but we're limited on time and there's so much to explore in Changi Airport. But for our final thoughts of Canopy Park, I think it's absolutely worth it. I mean, beautiful botanical gardens and great views of the rain vortex. And also a lot of stuff to do. So it's definitely worth it. Thank goodness the Jewel is a huge mall. We found a Pop Mart's store and they have way more characters than we thought. Still not sure what Pop Mart is, but it's really cool to see all the other characters. Just kidding, I found my favorite character and they have a description of the whole series. The Shishido Forest Valley is the centerpiece of the Jewel. It has almost 1,000 trees and over 60,000 different plants. Welcome to the Rain Vortex, the centerpiece of the Jewel and the centerpiece of the Forest Valley. It is what Changi Airport is most known for, this waterfall. If you're passing through Singapore or Changi Airport and you have time to go see the Jewel, but only time to see one thing, it should be the Rain Vortex. It's the tallest indoor waterfall in the world. And I guess you should be dressed to get wet a little bit as there's some mist that comes from the waterfall. Obviously, the Rain Vortex and the Jewel is really popular. Be prepared to deal with crowds. It's open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you're here in the evening, they have a light and music show in the Vortex, which is really cool. But if you're in the daytime, it's just as amazing. And don't forget about the Shishido Forest Valley. There's a couple trails that take you up and great overlooks as you're in the jungle. We made it to Terminal 3's Butterfly Garden. Obviously, our transfer flight is in the evening, and we're just gonna kind of explore right before we hop on our flight. I think I found a few butterflies over here. We saw a few butterflies in the emergence cage and also one that was on the feeding plate. Obviously, the nighttime butterflies aren't quite as active, but what's really cool is you also get not only great views of the forest, but also it's right next to the runway, so you see the planes taking off. If the butterflies are asleep in the evening, you can come to the free movie theater. They have kids' movies playing all day. We made it to our flight, and I have to say we were a little bit limited on time. We would have liked to see the big slide, but a lot of things close between 8 to 10 p.m. We recommend at least having 8 hours during the day to experience everything in the airport. And I have to say, bring your hiking shoes, because you could be going from point to point to point, and it can be exhausting. They also do offer free tours of Singapore, which is pretty cool, but you need about 3 to 4 hours to do that. But that wraps up our whole experience. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for future adventures, but until next time, keep on exploring.